These unique curriculums cover recurring themes that nearly every high school teenager is challenged with. Topics such as who am I, body image, choices, communications, self-esteem, stress, and tough times. These students are encouraged to share feelings and struggles as they openly discuss important issues in a safe and supportive environment. They are given the opportunity to feel empowered, gain self-awareness, develop coping strategies, improve problem-solving skills, understand that they are not alone, and learn to make healthy decisions. What makes these programs even more unique is that within the surrounding high schools in York County, Sanford is the first and so far only school to offer courses such as these.
My name is James Harmon, and I teach Rebound class at Sanford High School. I've been doing some form of this for the last 7 years. It started out as Reconnecting Youth class, which was a program implemented with the Safe Schools Healthy Students grant. And it's a goal-setting program, and we've since added a bunch of stuff to it from other classes that we've run at the high school, like Leadership and Resiliency class. It's basically the Reconnecting Youth curriculum, plus a bunch of like art therapy projects and community service and volunteering opportunities from the Leadership and Resiliency class. In Rebound class, we do a bunch of different things. Sometimes it's a makeup work day. So we'll create makeup lists from all the students' classes of the work that they're missing currently.
Okay, you want to put that one over there, please?
Other days we have trips to the Trafton Center where our students get to mingle with senior citizens from the Trafton Center and play games and share stories and snacks. They really enjoy that.
Oh, I think this is great. I like seeing them. And they're very good, and they're very polite.
It's interesting because they get to see each other in a different light. When some of my students are walking around in the hallways at Sanford High School, they're like tough guys or tough gals, you know. They've got like a reputation to uphold, perhaps. But when they're having snacks and playing cribbage at the Trafton Center, it's a completely different thing. And they appreciate that, and the seniors at the Trafton Center really like the chance to meet and socialize with these kids too. Other days in class, we have these sort of skill building days where we're working out of the Reconnecting Youth curriculum.
We talk about school attendance, school achievements, drug use control, mood management, and we set goals for each week. And then at the end of the week, we see if we made our goals. We talk about teamwork too, and we're working on a film right now about our life, and my group is doing about the struggles in high school.
Those are all skills that my students, it might seem like common sense because they've all got all the pieces of those skills. They understand it, but I find that like in a high school setting, sometimes they lose track of that common sense. So it's good to remind them about what they know are best practices.
The idea is that you start out at a certain place in Rebound class and you work on it all semester, a little bit at a time, you get better and better, whether it's your science grade or your control over drug use and substances or dealing with anger or a number of challenges that our students face.
Tater Tot is a Springer Spaniel. He's 7. We're going to teach him how to sit, stay, and other things so people will adopt him.
We work with the Animal Welfare Society, and our students for 3 or 4 weeks of the semester will train shelter dogs. And they do that 3 days a week. The other 2 days a week might be like Trafton Center, or might be Makeup Day, or might be Reconnecting Youth lessons.
I think one of the most important things about CTT in Rebound classes, it changes how students think about themselves.
So how's it going?
Really good. I've taught him like 3 or 4 things.
Great. So seems like you're having a lot of success with the training with your subject here, Tater Tot. What would you say goes into training dogs?
Love and affection and just getting along with your dog.
And they're also developing self-discipline in these high-energy shelter dogs, which reinforces their own patience and their own self-discipline.
We also do these dinners outside of school once a month for friends and family of the Rebound class. Parents come to it, younger siblings and older siblings, and sometimes kids who have already graduated or already finished with Rebound class will pop in just to check up.
At the Rebound dinners, our parents all come together and talk about projects that we've done in the class, and sometimes we have slideshows.
And we cook and we go over some of the things that we've been talking about in class just to keep parents informed about it and answer any questions that they may have.
While I was working in the Rebound classroom for the first year, I started noticing that a lot of female students were having trouble accessing their education because of their social conflicts that they were getting into. We have a behavioral incident here called a cease and desist, and basically if two students are having trouble getting along, they sign a document saying that they will not talk to each other and avoid each other in the school. And I've seen a lot of girls have difficulty with even taking classes that they need to graduate because of a conflict they have with someone in the classroom. And I just thought, you know, what if there was another way that we could handle this situation? What if we could take more of a restorative justice approach with some of these girls with a high number of cease and desists and teach them about communication skills and skills for handling conflict, and empower them to see themselves as intelligent beings who can access their education. But also a preventative measure for some of these girls who are on a track to let their social life interfere with their education. That's why I created this Allies curriculum. And I call it allies because the definition of allies does not necessarily mean that you're friends with everyone, but that you respect people that you disagree with and you support people, and that you value the differences between people. And so the curriculum starts off with really defining our group and creating a trusting environment, creating our code of conduct and our group rules. And then we go into exploring some bigger topics, like why is it that girls are so mean, as people say? You know, are we born that way, or is there something in our society that has propelled us to act a certain way to each other? So we look at ideals held up in our society. We look at the way the media portrays women and the ideals placed on girls, and from there we just explore different topics that relate to being a teenager in high school, whether it's being in healthy relationships, what is a healthy relationship, sexual assault, and bullying, dating violence, all of those issues. We try to have as many people from the community come in as possible to engage the students in their learning. It's really a discussion-based class, based on what the girls themselves want to learn about.
I read it as like a lot of parents like they made too much of like a big deal about like what their kids going through. Everyone else like just let them get over it. Why can't they just walk away from it? It's not that hard to walk away, but it's easier said than done to just leave whatever problem you have.
So that's another reaction that sometimes parents or other adults might have to the stuff that you're going through is get over it. It's not that big of a deal. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? That kind of stuff. One of the moments I had in Rebound in my first year working here that really motivated me to create this curriculum was the time a sophomore female student came to me and she said, I want to tell you what happened to me this weekend. And she had a folder with her, and she opened up her folder, and inside was a paper with the local hospital letterhead that said what to do if you've been sexually assaulted. And I help this young lady get connected with the services she needed to deal with this trauma. But I also saw a lot of the aftermath of the way that the student body handled this assault. Just watching this young girl go through this traumatic experience and then be targeted by the other females in her school to just drop it and put the blame on her for what had happened to her really just made me want to create a space where we could talk about these issues as women and talk about the way to handle these things when they happen and create a safe space for these girls who are experiencing these kinds of incidents.
and you work as a team and do group projects. You talk about different things going on in this world, like domestic violence or bullying, and they do projects about stuff in the school that can be changed.
We worked on a project called These Hands Don't Hurt to bring awareness about dating violence.
The thing that I stress to the girls about this project is that we're not trying to go in and, by painting someone's hands, immediately change their behavior, but that we're just trying to start a conversation and a dialogue about some of these things that the kids are experiencing. It makes a big difference for kids to hear these ideas from their own peers. And so to encourage the girls to realize that they have a voice and to really empower them to use that voice to change the conversations going on in the school.
Well, allies helped me by making me talk more, because I used to have really bad anxiety and I don't like talking to people and I don't like being social that much. So it helped me be more social and to find my voice.
I'm a lot more comfortable in my classes now because I could talk in allies and I wouldn't be judged about my opinion, and so that's how I am in all the rest of my classes. So.
It is important to advocate for classrooms like Allies and Rebound because when private funding is discontinued, they're the first ones to go. This is unfortunate for the students because the programs help to achieve success in other classrooms and gives them the sense of belonging. These support groups focus more specifically on common issues such as peer support, task-oriented goals, interpersonal and social skills, and building our confidence. These groups provide a social atmosphere very similar to the real world. Students become more aware of how others view them and how the choices they make affect not only themselves, but the ones around them. When students feel confident, supported, and empowered, they are capable of achieving anything. We had the privilege of interning with these programs for the 2014-15 school year. The overall process has been a learning experience, and we are thankful that we have had this opportunity.